the most intensely personal rivalries in NXT wrote its last and potentially final chapter Tuesday night as Trick Williams squared off with Eddie Thorpe in an NXT Underground match. The showdown held inside a rope-bust ring with submission and knockout as the only way to attain victory. Headline the show, which also saw the Women's United States Championship being defended in the opening match tonight as Sol Rooker took on Chelsea Green. After Sol Rooker defeated Chelsea Green in a tag match set up Tuesday contest, it was the Breakout Stars title opportunity. Green controlled a large portion of the match, targeting the previously injured knee of her opponent. Rooker fought back and rolled in late until interference marred her title quest, allowing Green to pick up the win. The crowd was hot for this one to enhance what was a perfectly acceptable match more. Rooker shined in a high-profile title opportunity, but the spotlight was equally on Green and her entourage, who were instrumental in a decent match. So I'll give it a 6 out of 10. The first ever NXT Double Women's Champion, Stephanie Vaquer, then hit the ring to address the fans following her victory over Julia at Roadblock. She announced the next woman to enter the ring would be her first challenger, with Jordan Grace answering a call. Before she could do or say anything, Jada Parker attacked for one out of nowhere and set up to the title holder officially entering the championship hunt. NXT had a loaded championship picture, and there's any woman vying for Vaquer and her titles, as there are, it's not out of the question there'll be a multi-person match at Stand and Deliver. Considering we just had a 4-way at Vengeance Day, though, it does feel all kind of soon. The brand should run with Grace or Parker and save the other for a post-WrestleMania run. With that said, Vaquer stood out on the mic here for someone whose first language isn't English, and yeah, it'd be interesting to see if she holds the belt for a while, loses one next week. Before we got Hank and Tank versus Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura. Inspired by their interaction with the legendary Hardys, Hank and Tank let's build momentum as they battled Briggs and Inamura in this tag action. They brought the energy late in the match, fighting back into the contest and leaving the heels reeling. With the momentum on their side, Tank scaled the ropes and came off with a swanton bomb, aiming to miss the target and crash onto the match. Briggs followed up with a lariat and Inamura added the splash to secure the victory. An energetic tag match that furthered the story of Hank and Tank's quest to find themselves in success in the tag division that was mostly a success. Briggs and Inamura have meshed better than anyone could have imagined, and winning here only enhanced the idea that the tag championship competitors while giving your opponents an obstacle down the road. So I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Before we got the D'Angelo family versus the Cullen, Stax, Crucifino and Rizzo battled Vance, Jensen and Dame in this first action. What was a hot start by the D'Angelo family was a raise during and after the commercial break as heel seized control, working over Lorenzo and cutting him off from his partners. A hot tag to Crucifino and Rizzo to take out Dame. Sparks comeback, but only for the unnamed assailants to have played NXT since Vengeance Day to attack Tony D backstage. This distraction allowed the Culling to take advantage, pick up the win. This was some great intensity shown here by the both faces, but it's for naught due to NXT's answer to the Shield, and potentially seeing up a match with the D'Angelo family. Whether that leaves things between the Babyface and the Culling remains to be seen, but intriguing. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. I don't know, it seems like we're doing a lot with the Marsman without doing too much. I want to see some progress with it. But after the match, Vaquer was backstage with NXT General Manager Ava when Fallon Henry reiterated her demand for a rematch for her North American Championship. Vaquer never wanted to back down, agreed to defend the work title against the women she beat for the gold, even after it was announced moments earlier that she would defend against Parker on next week's show. So yeah, be intriguing to see what happens there. Before we got Carmen Petrovic against Jason Jane. Petrovic sought a measure of revenge against Fatal Influences Jane following a recent attack as they squared off in singles competition. The Bosnia-born competitor took the fight to Jane and rolled late. A refusal to utilise a steel chair presented by her boyfriend Ashanti Adonis will provide just enough of a distraction for Jane to score the win. This got everyone on TV and furthered the story of Adonis being a negative influence on Petrovic, who continues to resist breaking the rules despite his insistence. This will likely pay off one way or another, but for now this is an opportunity to give Jane a rare win while moving the story onwards. So yeah, I can see why they did it. Backstage, Parker cut a promo on Vaquer ahead of their title match next week, while Petrovic and Adonis had an argument in the background. Back in the arena, Ricky Saints squared off with former number 1 contender Ridge Holland in his first singles match in NXT. Holland dominated, targeting the core of his opponent while concentrating action on the back and midsection, putting Saints on the defensive. Despite the pain, Saints fought his way back into the new match with a Tornado DDT and finished off the former rugby league player with a modified Rochambeau. There's an argument to be made that Stark should have been featured more here rather than spending most of the match selling for Holland, but it positioned him as a resilient face who can overcome an oppressive attack and still win. The match was good but not great. But yeah, it definitely highlighted Saints' future as a key piece of NXT. So yeah, for a first match, it's decent enough. I'm going to give it 7 out of 10. Before the rivalry between Trick Williams and Eddie Thorpe ended with a win for us, a much hyped underground match ended in a short order as the former NXT champion panelled his rival into a knockout and drew a referee stoppage. After the short-lived main event, Williams called out Obafemi, making his intention and challenge to the world title apparent. The Dark State then, previously unnamed invaders, appeared and Javon Evans hit the ring. shoved aside by Williams. He unloaded as all hell broke loose. The Shield inspired group watched from the stands as Evans stood face to face with Williams close up. So commentator Vic Jones have asked if anyone will take Evans lightly again. The question suggests Evans will find himself in the World Championship picture, which begs the question: are we really going to do 2 3-way matches for the men's and women's world titles? Who knows? But yeah. I thought it was a great ending, and yeah, definitely put Javon in the spotlight he deserves. So yeah, even though the match fell short, I thought the stuff posted was excellent. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Overall, NXT this week gets a 6 out of 10 from me. I thought, yeah, it was a pretty decent episode of NXT. Obviously, 2 big matches to close off the night. So, yeah, good stuff. So, yeah, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I think the way we're heading towards starting level potential for big multi-person matches could be intriguing. So, yeah, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. That's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Follow us on our socials. Link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.